Okay, my dear friends, we had started with the discharge of contract in the last class, and we have discussed that when we talk about the different modes of discharge, so there is first thing is that there is a legal obligation on the part of the parties. And when we talk about the legal obligation, so it means whatever is being decided by the parties, it needs to be fulfilled. The promise must be accomplished as per the terms of the contract, so that thing can be legal obligation can be over by performance, because we have to actually promise to perform something under the contract, so that performance is to be done. So that can be actual performance or attempted performance. Actual performance, whatever is required to be performed, it needs to be performed. And attempted performance is that in case you have offered to perform, so it must satisfy the conditions of valid tender, so that the other person does not have any right to say that the other person have not performed it correctly. So as per the terms of the contract, the tender of performance shall be considered as actual performance. Then in continuation, we have discussed that the conditions for tender of performance, that it must be unconditional, it must be according to the terms of the contract, must be made at a proper time and place, and if decided, then according to the decided place, it should be as per the place which is being decided. Otherwise, the office premises and office time would be taken into account. Then another point which I missed yesterday, that there should be reasonable opportunity of inspecting the goods. So whenever we are rendering the performance and the goods are of such nature that they needs to be checked, so just acceptance of the goods will not amount to performance. The other person should have a reasonable opportunity to inspect the goods. For example, if you have supplied certain dress material, etc., and the color of the dress material or sample, it is to be matched with the sample. And if you are delivering it in the evening, say around 6 or 7, when there is not proper daylight into today's time, as per the weather, so in that case the person have accepted the goods, but he had not check the goods. So next morning, when he has checked the goods and he has inspected the goods, and if the goods turned out to be different from the sample or different from what is being expected, then in that particular situation, we say that the reasonable, the person has the right to reject the goods. So that tender will not be considered as a valid tender. That tender will not be equal to the actual performance. Rest, we have discussed that the tender should be to the proper person और टू द ऑथराइज पर्सन. तो अगर ज्वाइंट प्रॉमिस है, तो किसी भी एक ज्वाइंट प्रॉमिसर को अगर हम टेंडर करते हैं, तो वो आपका माना जाएगा. प्लस आपका एब्सोल्यूट टेंडर होना चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट बी दैट हाफ ऑफ द पेमेंट यू आर offering and half of the payment you will not you will offer later on. So in that particular situation, the tender should be absolute, be it for the money or be it for the goods, etc. Then after that, we have discussed that there can be discharge by consent. So when we talk about the consent, we have discussed the first form, novation, where we have discussed that a new contract is substituted between the two parties in lieu of the earlier existing contract. So now the new contract will be the valid contract, and the earlier contract, the parties are discharged from their legal obligation. Then we have discussed about the recession, that is setting aside. So mutual consent is there, the party fails to perform his obligation, and with the consent of both the parties, you have set aside the contract. And in alteration, any change in the alteration in the terms of the contract, and remission means that you are accepting the lesser fulfillment. We have discussed all these situations with the help of the respective examples as well. Then we have discussed about the waiver. We have discussed about the merger. So where the earlier inferior right is merged into the superior one. So there also the person is discharged from his earlier obligation. Here I can take the example in terms of, for example, Mr. A was the tenant of Mr. B, and later on he has purchased the particular property. So earlier he had the obligation, as per the rent agreement, he had the obligation to pay the rent, he had the obligation to pay the electricity charges, and as per the terms of the rent agreement, he was required to make certain compensation. But later on, when he has purchased the particular house, so he has, he has fulfilled all the legal obligation. So with respect to the legal obligation as a tenant, he is discharged from all the legal obligation or all the payments, etc. So that can be, or there can be another examples with respect to the merger. So where the inferior rights are being merged into the superior one. So the person is discharged, though he is in the same organization, same place, but he is discharged from his legal obligation from the earlier contract. Then we have discussed about the discharge by impossibility of performance, wherein we have discussed initial impossibility and subsequent impossibility. We have discussed about the physical impossibility and legal impossibility as well. Then after that, we have discussed certain exceptions where we have discussed that impossibility of performance is not an excuse. So if there is any kind of commercial impossibility, difficulty, or due to any third person, or there has been certain strikes, lockouts, civil disturbance, etc. In these particular situation, the person is not allowed to skip out of the contract, or person legal obligation is not discharged. It would be discharged only on account of impossibility of performance. Then in continuation, we have discussed about the discharge by lapse of time. So if a particular contract is to be performed within a specific time period and one party has performed, another party has not performed within that particular time domain, so the other party is discharged from his, we can say, the legal obligation. So that person is free from the legal obligation. So in this case, in the case of lapse of time, if there is time is prescribed, then the person is required to act within the time period only. And here lapse of time may, we can also discuss about the limitation act, wherein we have also discussed earlier about the time bar debt also. So if the person has not taken any legal action, has not done what was required to be performed as per the time of limitation act, so in that case the debt becomes a time bar and the person have lost the right to claim that particular debt. So if you remember, तो consideration की exceptions में हमने डिस्कस किया था promise to pay time bar debt, तो वहां पे ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट हमने एक्सप्लेन किया था, right? Now in up till now, any query or question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now in continuation, we have discharge by operation of law. When we talk about discharge by operation of law, so in case we say that in case of death of the party, there is a situation where we say that the person, there is physical impossibility. So if there is a personal skill activity, say if someone is a professional or an advocate or a particular professional person who is rendering services to you. For example, a painting is to be made and the person is an artist. So if there is a death of that person, so due to the impossibility of performance, supervening impossibility, the particular by operation of law, the contract will be over. The person is discharged from his legal obligation and the other person is also discharged from his legal obligation. But in case it is not of personal nature, contract can be performed by any other party, then in that situation, the contract will be performed. So there the contract is not discharged. Similarly, if we talk about the in case of merger, so in case there is a merger and the rights are in the contract are given to the other party, then the earlier contract stands discharged by merging in the form of the later contract. You must have seen, you must have studied the merger and acquisitions, and you must have studied in your accounts paper also that when the particular shares companies merge or there is amalgamation, then what happens? That the shareholders, creditors of one company automatically become the shareholders and creditors of the new company as per the terms of the contract, or whatever earlier contracts are being transferred to the new company. So in that case, they have not entered into the contract with the new company. So in that particular situation, जो अर्लियर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है वो आपका रिप्लेस हो गया नए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के साथ. तो उस सिचुएशन के अंदर आपका जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है there is that automatically the person is discharged from his legal obligation with respect to the existing contract. So is it clear? Then there becomes the insolvency. So when we say insolvency, what happens as per the Insolvency Act? A person may be declared as adjudged insolvent on the petition of the creditors or on the petition of persons himself. When his liabilities are more and he is not having sufficient assets to meet out his liabilities, then in that case he may apply, or the creditors may apply to the court of law to declare that person as insolvent. So in that case, the person, all assets will vest to the official receiver or official assignee, and official assignee will decide the proportion on the basis of the creditors or the liabilities of such person, and it will be given to those persons. So in that case, suppose the person's assets are 40% and his liabilities are 100. So every person will get 40% of their liability. So this 40% will be considered as full and final settlement for that particular person. तो उस केस में क्या होगा कि the insolvent person is discharged from his legal obligation 100%. रेमिशन में तो आप खुद लेसर फुलफिलमेंट ऑफर कर रहे हो एंड द अदर पर्सन इज एक्सेप्टिंग दैट, बट इंसॉल्वेंसी में एज पर द इंसॉल्वेंसी एक्ट व्हेन अ पर्सन इज डिक्लेयर्ड इंसॉल्वेंट, तो उस केस के अंदर जितने भी उसकी राइट्स और लाइबिलिटीज एसेट्स वगैरह है वो ऑफिशियल रिसीवर या ऑफिशियल असाइनी के पास चले जाते हैं एंड दैट पर्सन डिसाइड्स एंड क्लोज द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो उस केस में जितने भी आपके एग्जिस्टिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं वो आपके क्लोज हो जाते हैं. सिमिलरली अगर कोई अनऑथराइज ऑल्ट्रेशन होती है टर्म्स ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, रिटन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, तो उस केस में द अदर पर्सन इज डिस्चार्ज. एंड ऑल्सो if the rights and liabilities are in the same person, then in that case the person is discharged because rights or liabilities same person के पास आ गए. तो उस situation के अंदर the person is free from his legal obligation. So that's it in the chapter discharge of contract. So if we see our earlier slides where we have discussed, so if we see this table, so you can see that we have discussed about performance, mutual consent, impossibility, lapse of time, operation of law. So up till now, I hope there is no difficulty or no confusion. Yes? Okay. So in
Yes, ma'am.
continuation, okay.
Yes.
So in continuation, the last form is breach of contract. So when we say breach of contract, my dear friends, breach of contract means non-performance. Breach of contract means that whatever you are required to perform, so either you have refused to perform or you have done something contrary which shows that contract will not be performed. Right? So it means, for example, A is required to deliver 1000 units of item X to B on, say, 18th of January 22. Right? So in this particular situation, 18th is over and he has not supplied. A has contacted B that you were supposed to deliver these items as per our agreement by yesterday, but these have not been received. So if B says, oh, the particular I was not having certain problem, I had certain problem, there was certain transport issues, so it will be delivered by today. That's fine. If B says that, sorry, I could not procure the item X and I am not going to deliver. So once he says, I am not going to deliver, or he does not reply, or he doesn't deliver or perform his part of promise, then in that case, it would be known as breach of contract. So once there is a breach of contract, then in that particular situation, the other party, that is A, the aggrieved party, have the right to go to court of law and can file a case either to perform or to compensate for non-performance or to compensate for non-performance, right? So in this particular situation, what happens that there is a refusal, there is a breach of contract. So in that case, we will go and we will discuss after this chapter that what are the remedies in case of breach of contract. That we are going to have the last chapter of the Indian Contract Act. And when we say contrary or something is being done, so it is known as anticipatory breach of contract. एंटीसिपेटरी ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मीन्स कि अभी परफॉर्मेंस का टाइम नहीं आया बट द सम पर्सन हैज डन समथिंग contrary which shows that the particular contract is not going to be performed. Here we can say example that A has promised to B to sell his car for rupees 2 lakh and A has only one car. And instead of selling it to B, A has sold it to C. So it means that there is a promise that car will be given to B. They have agreed upon this. They have agreed upon terms, condition. They have agreed upon the price also. So, and A is having only one car. So in this particular case, if A has sold the car to C, it means that there is anticipatory breach that he is not going to sell the car to B. Now, in case of anticipatory breach, we have the choice that either whenever the anticipatory breach is committed, we can go to court of law or we can wait for the due date of performance. Right? So in this particular situation, the another situation can be that A has promised to sell the car to B for rupees 2 lakh and A has sold the car to C. But in this particular situation, A had two cars for which B was not aware of. So in this situation, we say that in case of anticipatory breach, there is possibility that the person might perform at a later stage, or there is possibility that the party can, perform the contract at later stage. But in this situation, it is generally advisable to wait till the due date of performance, and if there is no, you cannot wait, so there should be, the person can expressly talk to the other person about the non-performance, and there can be certain things that the other person have expressly told that he is not going to perform the contract, or there can be the implied renunciation, that is implied breach, that the person is not going to perform. So in this particular situation, the contract can be treated as terminated and the person can sue the other party for the damages, or the person have the option to wait till the date for the performance, and later on the court case can be filed, or for the performance or for the compensation for the damages, the person can file a case against the other party, right? So with respect to the breach of contract, consequences, remedies, all these things we are going to discuss in the next class. And if you have any query up till now, so I can take up your queries, and then rest of the topic we'll discuss in the next class.